right, folks. We are set for the Firekeepers Casino 400 here tonight. Primetime slot on a Saturday night. We're racing on NASCAR Heat 4. Hopefully you guys are ready to enjoy this. We're about to qualify for the event, of course, first. So here we go. Hoping for the quick time, of course. Not sure exactly where we're going to qualify. Michigan had a pretty good showing, a pretty good race here in the June race last season. We'll see if we have a pretty good show ourselves here tonight, as this should be a fun one. The regular season rolls on. We're on the fastest racetrack on the circuit. Got the steering wheel here for this one here tonight. And with this 2018 rules package, around this racetrack, we'll just have to see what the qualifying lap time is going to be. Pole position's at 30.096. I don't think we're going to quite compete anywhere close to that, but I guess you never know. Ran a little bit off the bottom there through turns 1 and 2. We're doing all right, though, down the back straightaway. Got the foot to the floor. Now through 3 and 4, trying to hold it full throttle, hitting the apex almost as perfectly as I possibly could. Off of turn number 4, all the way down the front stretch. Here we come down to the apron at the line, a 39.112. That is 16th fastest. So that is where we'll qualify for this race tonight. 16th, your pole sitter, Denny Hamlin. So we'll be starting 16th here in this race. And we're about to get things started here for the Firekeepers Casino 400. I was at this race the last 2 years. Hopefully when NASCAR gets back in action, I'll make it 3 years in a row. And then as well, yeah. Been to both Michigan races the last couple years. But anyway, we are going to get set for this one. Green flag in the air. We are underway. Here at Michigan, Denny Hamlin leads us to the green flag. 60 laps in the opening stage of the race. We'll have 60, 60, and 80 in the stages here today for this 400-mile event. Already on lap 1, turn 1. On the outside of the racetrack, trying to keep the car as steady as possible. On the outside, making moves. Great run to start down the back stretch, down to the inside of Clint Boyer. And now quickly to the inside of Daniel Suarez. A pretty good jump on the initial start of the race. How will this be able to hold on as the run carries forward? Big run all the way down to the inside now. 3 wide. Over 200 miles an hour into turn 1. Ooh, a little contact with Chase Elliott. Up the track he goes. Nice save by Elliott. Pulls down right in front of Kurt Busch, able to hold his position. Now in front of his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Kind of slowed me down the corner a little bit too, mainly because I was trying to kind of check up, make sure he wasn't going to go around. Martin Truex Jr. will lead the first 2 laps of the race despite Denny Hamlin starting the race there as we go all the way down to the apron through the tri-oval to get away from Suarez. I didn't want to get pushed there. We know how aggressive these guys are with the push. Here comes Suarez off of turn 2. Diving it pretty early to get into turns 3 and 4. So honestly, as big of a track as this is, 2-mile racetrack, there's a good chance we're going to try to split the stages in half. 30 and 30. And then 40 in the final stage. Kind of like we did at Pocono yesterday We had 50 laps when we went 25 and 25 in the first two stages, and then the final stage when we had 60 laps we went 30 and 30. So we're probably going to see that again here today at Michigan. Michigan not known for a lot of tire wear on this racetrack, but I think that is going to be the track position game throughout the course of this one. Very wide racetrack as well, though, for it being 2 miles, of course. Ball right in line behind Kevin Harvick in 9th place right now. Going to get a big draft here, big pull, 205 miles an hour into turns 1 and 2 as we pull down to the inside of the 4 of Harvick. And we are up to the 9th position on the racetrack. Joey Logano now in the race lead. He won this race a year ago. Kurt Busch finished in 2nd. Look at how these guys are running as of right now as well. Big run to the inside of the 18. Trying to keep it going. We're going to clear Kyle Busch going into turn 1, and we're up to 8th. So after we just cleared him 4 position. Trying to get a run down the back straightaway now. Oh, we're going to hit well over 200 miles an hour going into turn 3 as well. 202 that time. Running some blistering fast laps as we're going to clear Kurt Busch for 7th coming out of turn number 4. Nope, not quite. Couldn't quite clear him that time. Down to the apron we go to kind of break the draft a little bit. But Kurt Busch is going to be able to hold on to the position, and he's clear going into turn 1. Meanwhile, the top 2, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr. just kind of pulling away from everybody. And now we're going to clear the 1 of Kurt Busch, but he is coming so fast that we quickly jumped down. I did not think he was going to get out of the gas there. So we cleared him for the moment. Led him back to the outside of us again. Deep dive going into 3 and 4 on Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski. And that'll move us up to 5th. Larson just ran the top side as well right there too. Truex and Logano have been trading the leads back and forth since the start of this race. Deep dive to the inside on Larson. And we're going to clear Kyle Larson in the 42. Up to 4th place. Larson had a big run coming. Had to check out of the gas as we slid in front of him. And out to the outside on Alex Bowman. At least through the middle lane. Larson going to follow us. Bowman holds clear, at least for now. Down to the apron. Trying to get around the 88 of Bowman. Can't quite clear him going into turn 1, but we've got the advantage on the inside. Well, Bowman tried the crossover. World Wrestling Championship, how's it going? Glad you could make it for the live stream here tonight. For another full race live stream with our realistic broadcasting that I like to do on the channel. Breaking the draft here on Alex Bowman. So you try to pull away from him. We're slowly trying to reel in Martin Truex Jr. and Joey Logano right now, who are out in front of the field. Currently, Truex has led the majority of the laps in the early going of this race. You missed qualifying at the beginning. We did qualify 16th for this one. But we're off to a pretty solid start here early on. Logano's been trying to run that outside here as Truex has been running the bottom. Typically at Michigan, I try to run the bottom as much as possible. For turns 3 and 4, I could probably run it wide open, honestly. Haven't tried it in the race yet. I was able to do it in qualifying, but race is a little different. got more cars around you, of course, rather than a single car qualifying run, but did a pretty good job there. We're in the wide open. We don't have to worry about cars around us right now, despite being in a little bit dirtier air than, let's say, the race leader of Martin Truex Jr., but that was a pretty solid corner. Barely have to roll out of the gas when I do. This car feels really glued to the racetrack, to be quite honest. But at least early on here in this first stage, it's almost looking like a three-car battle for the race win between Truex, Logano, and Blaney. Trying to hold full throttle through turns 1 and 2 as well, but we had to get out of the gas there, so it's a lot harder to hold full throttle through 1 and 2 than what it is 3 and 4. Now, you do carry a little bit more speed into turn 1. Obviously, the trial was a little bit longer than the back straightaway, the way it's kind of looped around. A little bit of a curve. Therefore, you're carrying more speed in there. And, of course, with running full throttle through 3 and 4, obviously, that's going to help build up a little bit more momentum as well. Ooh, drove it in a little too deep there. And around goes Blaney. What a save. We stay green miraculously. Got the left side tires down on the apron, lost control. Boy, did we luck out there, in the field kind of stacking up now as we were 4 wide. Trying to get back to speed again. Now contact with the 11 of Hamlin and the 88 of Bowman. Things just got crazy all of a sudden as the 2 leaders of Martin Truex Jr. and Logano pull away, and now caution's out. There's trouble somewhere behind us. Probably as the field was stacking up more and more, they might have piled in. I'm not sure who is all involved in that wreck, but on lap 15 here at Michigan. Well, we got lucky we were able to make a save there. Might have burned up the tires a little bit more, but I think we're okay. So it's going to be close on fuel to the end of the stage from here. We're gonna pit. We're gonna win the race off of pit road. All these guys at the rear of the field. I mean, we might be able to make it on fuel to the end of the stage, and we might not. It'll be interesting, but we'll take the tire advantage here with hitting pit road. And the green flag is in the air, so we are underway. 43 laps. We're about 2 laps to the good on fuel. We can run about 45 laps on a full tank. And we've got about 15 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field in front of us as we go down to the apron through 1 and 2 to try and make a move. Yeah, we've got a lot fresher tires than these guys right now. It's just a matter of trying to drive from the rear of the field all the way towards the front. Down to the outside. Could get a little tight here through the tri-oval. Yeah, definitely backing out of the gas when I can. Let it widen out in the corner just a little bit now through turns 1 and 2. 4 wide again for a short moment, squeezing in there on the 4 fresh Goodyears, clearing everybody up of turn 2. One driver is already out of the race. Not sure exactly who that is. I'm sure we'll find out here pretty soon. Now trying to go right up the middle between Tyler Reddick and Jimmy Johnson. That got tight. What a move. Big run coming now on the 18 of Kyle Busch. Over 200 miles an hour. Taking it to the inside of him. Bowman and Keselowski. On the brakes slightly to keep from running over Hamlin. Bowman checked up as well. He was going to try to follow us into the corner. We're very, very close to leading our first laps of the race. Truex still out in front. Logano back to 4th for now, about to be back to 5th here as we're side by side with him coming off of turn number 4. Truex has the clean air, but we've got the fresh tire advantage as we're going to move up to 2nd, passing his teammate Eric Jones for the position. The only other guys on fresh tires are the other 6 drivers that hit pit road behind us on the restart. Big run on Truex going into turn 3 to the inside for the race lead. Clearing him easily off of turn number 4, Ryan Blaney to the lead. And again though, the good news is we can make it on fuel to the end of the stage. We've got 39 to go in stage 1. I'm very surprised nobody else pit. Probably because we only got 15 laps on our tires, but tire wear doesn't mean a whole lot here at Michigan. But we'll definitely take care of them just in case. Coming off of a race at Pocono last night, which we only had 1 caution, so the fact that our first caution of the race today came out on lap 15 already matched last night's total. Of course, tomorrow we go to Sonoma. It was originally going to be a 4 o'clock start time. We're going to have to move the start time up with it being Easter Sunday. I did not think about kind of moving around my schedule that I originally had planned. So that race is now going to be coming on earlier, and it's going to be on at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. So hopefully you guys will enjoy an earlier morning start to your Easter Sunday on the channel. Ooh, a little kiss off the wall off of turn 2 there. Just a little brush, nothing major. We really had to check out of the gas. So we were close to catching lap traffic before that first caution came out, but we didn't quite get there, at least yet. And obviously with that caution, we're 2 laps to the good on fuel after we topped off on pit road and took 4 fresh Goodyear tires. That's why we're pulling away right now, because we were in 3rd at the time of the caution. Logano and Truex were just way out ahead for a while. And Joey Logano's in 4th right now. Suarez is in front of him, but Martin Truex Jr. is still looking like the top dog outside of us on the racetrack. But again, on equal tires, we still don't know exactly how many laps it'll take for us to become faster than Joey and Truex, but more specifically Martin Truex Jr. How many times do you see on bigger racetracks like at Auto Club Speedway in Michigan, Indianapolis, Pocono, where clean air comes into play? We saw it during the Pocono race last night. Very difficult to pass, but we actually saw a decent amount of it. So far here in Michigan, seen some widespread out racing, not a whole lot of passes so far. That's a product of having to have the clean air. Road courses are included with that, so I'm sure we'll see that more again tomorrow when we go road course racing at Sonoma. I will be using the controller for that race, being the first road course race of the season. Going to alternate through the cameras now as we're in the wide open air here. This is the first time today that we are going to do this. Nice calm night of racing here early on. It didn't hit my apex perfectly there. It got out of the gas just a little bit towards the corner exit off of turn 4, but again, we've got a big enough lead right now. So if we were running this stage in full, I would have hit pit road 2 laps away from now. But that is not going to be the case in this race. Or at least in stage 1, only because I know there is a possibility that I can actually make it on fuel to the end of the stage. Very difficult track to save fuel on with it being 2 miles in length, but we are, again, we're about 2 laps to the good roughly from the time we went green. We're actually burning quite a bit. We might have to make a stop for the end of the stage. If we do, though, it will be fuel only, assuming the tires can make it all the way to the finish. Which again, we'll have to wait on that as well, of course. Oh boy, Bubba Wallace started coming down the track just a little bit. We had to check up to get around him. Once again, Michigan, the fastest track on the circuit here in, well, any of the 3 series, but especially here in the Cup Series. Yeah, Daytona and Talladega, you run 200 plus miles an hour, but top speed here, I mean, especially before this rules package, they would hit 220 going into turn 1, but with this rules package, really you only see about 205, 210, which is still a lot to have to get out of the gas. A lot better reaction time is what is needed. Key moment of the race, though, of course, just trying to put as many guys a lap down as possible. So we started off on this run being 2 laps to the good on fuel, but we are burning so much that we are now only about a quarter of a lap good on fuel, so we're only about a half mile to the good. That is not a lot here at Michigan. Man, I am so surprised at how much we're burning here. I could obviously back the pace off too. I just really want to get as many guys a lap down as possible here. Yeah, we're burning quite a bit of fuel. Right now we're still to the good, but I'm not entirely sure. And again, us having this big lead is because under the caution, very few people hit pit road. And I had pit from 3rd place. Caution came out on lap 15. And everybody else stayed out outside of the last 6 drivers on the racetrack that were all still on the lead lap, of course. There's only 1 driver out of the race right now. I'm not sure entirely who that is, but we'll find out under the stage break, or if we get another caution here, that is for sure. Yeah, if I can get some draft off of these lap cars, that would probably help a little bit, but we're actually trending way in the wrong direction. Again, when we went green with 43 laps to go in the stage, we were 2 laps to the good on fuel, and now we're expected to run out just before the start-finish line. So we have burned 2 extra laps of gas in the first almost 20 laps, a little less than 20 laps of this green flag run. Good news is we have a big enough lead. Man, Parker Kligerman just pulled up in front of us. We were going to try to just get to the outside of him real quick, but wasn't expecting him to pull up. Kind of hoping he was going to hold his line, but that wasn't the case. Gano back up to third now. Again, though, it'll be interesting to see how this is going to go. Really want to try to see if I can make it as long as possible. As the laps wind on, I just don't think we're going to be able to make it. And that, again, is a lot of the reason why I think a lot of guys stayed out. Because we probably couldn't make it on fuel. But, man, I just did not see us burning this much. It's quite amazing. Definitely a lot of on-throttle time here at Michigan with these Cup cars, that is for sure, but still, I just didn't expect us to burn that much. Again, I'm trying to stay in the draft of some of these lap cars. I could start getting out of the gas a little bit sooner in the corners I can get out of the gas on, or roll the corners through 3 and 4 rather than trying to hold it full throttle. But I think I'm at that point now where if I'm going to pit, I'm just going to pit. Not really worry about saving gas too much and just try to pull away from these guys as much as possible. And of course, question as usual is, are we going to get a caution before the end of the stage? Which would allow everybody to pit. And that would make for an interesting strategy. Well, not strategy, but make for an interesting battle to the end of the stage, that's for sure. We look to nab every playoff point we possibly can. Even though we just picked up our 11th win of the season already at Pocono last night. Already about 40 laps into this race. Jimmy Johnson now about to go a lap down. "20 laps to go yet in stage number 1. Man, again, we started about 2 laps to the good on fuel, but we have now burned so much, we're about a half a lap short. So we've burned roughly 5 miles extra of fuel than what we were originally supposed to run. That is quite a bit, figuring that this is a 2-mile racetrack. So what we're probably going to end up doing is we're probably going to hit pit road when the rest of these leaders hit pit road. Stay on the same strategy, because at this rate I just don't know if we can actually save enough fuel in the right direction. Even though it's only half a lap, it's 1 mile we have to save because we've burned so much. I mean, I just don't know. So that is going to be something interesting to keep focus on throughout the course of this race today, especially in that final stage. If we go green all the way through stage 3, it's supposed to be 80 laps. So can we actually split the stage 40 and 40? Or are we going to burn too much fuel? And it's going to be a matter of how many guys are going to be able to pit once in the stage versus twice. Because if you're only going to pit once, you're obviously going to finish almost a full lap ahead of everybody else. Michigan's a long enough track that you could get onto pit road and still remain on the lead lap depending on how close you are to the leader. But even still though, pretty wild. So pretty much just keeping an eye on Truex and those guys up towards the front of the field. Again, once they start to pit, we're probably just going to end up hitting pit road. Might as well put 4 tires on it while we've got a big enough lead. We're about to put Kurt Busch a lap down now. Alright, so we got cars hitting pit road this time. Truex is going to come down. We are 2. We can't though. Too much of a closing rate on Ryan Preece. We're going to have to stay out one more lap. We're kind of trapped there. And Logano is now in second. He is not pit yet. Again, I could keep running this to the end of the stage, but just don't think we're going to make it. I think it's better to be safe than sorry here in stage 1. We don't need to run out of fuel this early in the race. I mean, you don't want to run out of fuel at all, but why risk it this early? So on pit road we go. We got to make sure we don't speed. Did a great job getting onto pit road. We gained quite a bit of time too on Suarez. Did a good job not really locking the brakes up at all either. So 4 tires, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. No need to repair any damage here. Of course, it'll be interesting to see if everybody else is going to take 4 tires, maybe 2 tires with some of these guys, knowing that the stage is coming to an end soon. I don't think anybody's going to take fuel only. I think there's still enough laps left. Oh boy, man, Reddick came right onto pit road as we were trying to come out. And there's Logano all the way out in front of us. So he's definitely going to remain on the lead lap as we try to stay on the bottom of the racetrack here. These other guys are going to blow around us while we're trying to get back up to speed. We're still in the race lead. Parker Kligerman now shown in second. He's one of the guys that actually stayed out. Caution. Caution is out, and that is going to trap a lot of guys 1 lap down. Parker Kligerman, Joey Gase, luck out big time, as they are on the lead lap at the time of the caution. Not sure what the yellow is out for exactly, but that was probably the worst time for there to be a caution. It was right in the middle of cycling through stops. And luckily we were still one of the ones on the lead lap. So is Joey Logano and Eric Jones, but it looks like Truex was a lap down. He's going to get the free pass though. And because some of us already cycled out, nobody's going to get the wave around. Truex is going to get the free pass, but that's going to be it. So that's our second caution of the race. And we're going to have a fight here to the end of stage number 1. Logano definitely has a fast car. We'll see. Penske ruling the front row in the restart. Green flag back in the air again at Michigan. And now we've got 2 cars that have DNF'd already. 11 laps to go in stage number 1. So I don't think Truex is going to drive from the rear of the field to the front. If he gets a quick yellow, maybe he's still got a shot at the stage. And Eric Jones quickly to the inside, trying to go from 3rd to 1st on the restart. Off of turn 2, he's got the advantage. Oh, man. Overcorrected it there for a little bit off of turn 2. Trying to stay right on the back bumper of the 20 to stay in the draft. We are not as good on the short runs, but if we can get a good enough of a run off of these guys, that could help. 10 laps to go in stage number 1. Larson a lap down, maybe looking to unlap himself here. To the outside for the lead on Eric Jones. We are just not as good on the top of the track as what we are on the bottom. We're going to lose second place now to Logano. Joey Gase and Kligerman are probably going to look out with stage points here. The rest of the field behind us just getting held up big time. Logano trying to squeeze underneath the 42 of Larson. Larson, no need to battle him. He's got quite a big gap, at least for now, on the next closest car behind him. Logano will clear Larson off of turn 4. Now he's going after Eric Jones for the lead. 9 to go in stage 1. And if those leaders start battling with each other, we'll see if we'll be able to catch them. Now that we're on equal tires, you're not going to see us pull away like we were on fresher tires on that last fuel run. Big dive now to the bottom. We're going to clear Larson up off of turns 3 and 4. Logano, Eric Jones, side by side for the lead. Still down the front stretch. Logano trying to clear the 20. Now he does have him clear. Logano to the lead at the stripe that time. And now into turns 1 and 2. Big run to the inside of Eric Jones for Ryan Blaney. Side draft coming off of turn 2, trying to hold strong, and now we got to fall back in line behind him. Another run down the backstretch to the inside of the 20. We are side by side for second. A big dive bomb move. Left side's down to the apron. Slide job by Blaney. Crossover by Jones. Eric Jones hanging on to second. Contact off of turn 2. We're both loose. What a save as we came together. Jones with a double kind of like crossover slash slide job move. We almost wrecked off of turn 4. I was coming down the track to double cross him over as he was coming up, and we came together. I thought I was going to have him clear to come down. I'm lucky I didn't right hook him straight into the wall. I don't know how he corrected that. Both of us did a great job, but that's going to allow Logano to get away just a little bit more. 6 laps to go already in stage 1 at the line as we get to the inside now of Eric Jones. Trying to go up the hill to side draft slightly, going into turn 1. Neck and neck. Clearing Jones off of turn number 2. And now trying to run down the race leader and our Penske teammate of Joey Logano. All for the playoff point to the end of the stage. Logano goes to the top. To the bottom goes Blaney. 5 laps to go at the line. 10 miles left to decide the winner of stage number 1. Half a second behind. We're kind of closing in. It's hard to tell for sure. When Logano goes to the top, we're definitely gaining on the bottom. Big run coming through 1 and 2. Look at the gains we made that time, trying not to slide it into the wall. That was a close one. Driving it through turns 1 and 2 as hard as we could on the bottom of the track. Logano now got to go down to the bottom to protect. Boy, we are driving it into these corners so deep. Closing to the back bumper again. 4 to go at the line. Logano could be in trouble here. I think we might have a good shot at him. Truex still about 4.5 seconds back. He's arguably the fastest guy in the field. Luckily, he was the one that got caught a lap down for our sake. Now through turns 1 and 2. Logano still blocking us on the bottom. He's going to try to make us pass him around the top. We look to the inside off of turn 2. We've got the run. Side by side, trying to side draft now down the backstretch. Into 3. We've got the advantage on the bottom. Slide job by Blaney. Clearing. We have the run he needs down the backstretch. He's got a big draft coming. 3 to go. Blaney back out in front again. Here comes Logano to the back bumper. Looking to the inside. He is there. We've got the clean air now, but how much of a run can he get as he moves back to the top side again? I thought he was going to go to the bottom to make the move. I think he's going to wait an extra lap. He is definitely there. He keeps faking to the bottom and keeps running the top side. We held it full throttle through 3 and 4. We kind of pulled him a little bit. Down to the bottom now to break the draft at the line. 2 to go in stage number 1. No lap traffic to deal with before the end of this stage. Logano got off turn 2 a lot better than we did. Now into 3 and 4 again. Both of us down to the bottom of the track. Logano's still within reach. He's a little less than a half second back. He's about 4 car lengths off the lead at the line. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go in stage 1. For Ryan Blaney. Got through turns 1 and 2 pretty solid. We're still pulling Logano slowly but surely. Oh man, got a little loose off of turn 2 there, keeping the foot on the throttle to the floor. Now into turn 3. Should be able to hold 3 and 4 wide open, and we will. And off of 4 now to the line. Ryan Blaney will win stage 1 at Michigan. Pretty good finish to the end of the stage. Took the lead coming to 3 to go. Logano second, Eric Jones third, Truex in 4th, Parker Kligerman 5th. 6th place was Joey Gase. Both of those guys had stellar finishes on strategy here in stage 1. Kurt Busch will get the free pass in 7th. Kyle Larson in 8th. Daniel Suarez 9th, and 10th place getting the last stage point. Alex Bowman was 9th and Suarez was 10th. So, again, Kurt Busch will get the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap. Everybody's going to hit pit road for fuel and tires at the end of the stage here. And that will give us 7 drivers on the lead lap before we start this next stage. So we're going to have another 60 laps here in stage 2, and then 80 in the final stage. But it has been a pretty fun one so far. Hopefully you've enjoyed. The green flag back in the air once again. Penske on the front row. Joe Gibbs Racing in row 2 right behind. Same order coming out of the pits as what we had to finish off the top 5. Got a good jump there on the start. Jones trying to get to the bottom. Can he get to the lead quickly like he did back at the end of stage 1? Blocking him. Still blocking him off of turn 2. We had a lot better of a restart that time. Logano now looking to the inside of Jones. Going into turns 3 and 4. Again, we're trying to get up to speed. Trying to pull away from him now into 3 and 4. Logano and Jones side by side for second behind us. As we lead the opening lap of stage number 2 at the line, down to the bottom to block Logano. Here he comes, Jones on the top as well. Truex about a second back, but I'm sure he can get back into this soon. Logano took a deep dive to the bottom. We blocked him off at the last second, but now he gets the run off of turn 2. Joey Logano to the race lead. Jones trying to push us down the backstretch. Big run coming on Joey Logano now. Into turn number 3, all the way to the apron. Slide job, just clearing Logano, crossing him over, 3 wide for the lead now. Eric Jones gets around both of us through 3 and 4, and here comes Suarez trying to get his lap back. Eric Jones with a daredevil 3 wide pass for the lead in 3 and 4 on the last lap. After we slid barely in front of Logano, and now here comes Martin Truex Jr. to join the party right behind us in 4th place, looking for 3rd. Ooh, Suarez kind of getting in our way a little bit, costing us just a little bit of time. Truex now down to the bottom. He's got a run. He tries to side draft. We're side by side for 3rd as Logano goes for the lead on Eric Jones into turn 1. Jones blocking him off to the bottom, at least for now. Oh, look at how close the 19 and the 12 were. Jones still holding on to the lead a little bit longer than what he did back at the end of stage 1. Doing a great job blocking after he did a great job just to get into the position he was in. Took advantage of the opportunity with me and Logano racing hard. And the best part about all that is we all did that cleanly without any contact. Good, hard racing. It's at every inch of the racetrack we needed. Top four all under a blanket for the lead within about a half a second of each other. At 200 plus miles an hour at Michigan, might I add. And then you got Suarez trying to get his lap back in the mix of all this. And now we're 3 wide through 3 and 4. What a move by Blaney. Down to the bottom, clearing the 78. Truex going to give us a push now. Trying to help us out after we made the pass. Logano to the inside for the lead on Eric Jones going into turn 1. Oh man, we're going for the home run. Almost made contact, and now here comes Truex. Martin Truex Jr. shot out of a cannon off of turn 2. He's looking for second on Jones. It could possibly be looking for the lead. We went for the home run ball there and did not have it pay off. As we enter these corners so much deeper than these guys, but we're typically able to hold it like we did there in 3 and 4. Side by side for the lead again. We just passed Jones for third. Truex, Logano, side by side for the lead going into turn 1. Blaney down to the bottom, trying to do the same thing Jones did. And now we're 3 wide for the lead. Truex trying to propel up the middle. Still 3 wide down the backstretch. Truex got a little loose. So we try to side draft a little bit more. And back into 3 and 4 once again. Truex still can't clear the 22, and now he does. Truex finally clears Logano. As we go all the way to the inside to break whatever draft we had. With Eric Jones behind us, now trying to side draft the 22 into turn 1. Oh, little loose. Left side's on the apron, sliding now on the inside of the track, losing a ton of time. What a save. Turning right to go left without overcorrecting it. And to downshift to third, we are going to lose a ton of time. But that could have been a lot more disastrous than what it was. And because of the small amount of drivers still in the lead lap, we only fall back to 4th as the top 3 continue to race for the lead. And hopefully we can join them sooner rather than later. Now we got these lap cars to kind of deal with. Truex still leads Logano right on his back bumper. They have not left each other yet. So we try to get around our teammate here, Brad Keselowski. So we get to his inside now into 3 and 4. Dangerous part, we got the left side tires on the apron. We got really loose, lost a ton of momentum, but we are very, very fortunate that I didn't overcorrect the car and wreck into the outside wall, and possibly even could have collected other drivers. That would have been terrible. Side by side for the lead again. Logano on the bottom, Truex on the top, and they battle like that. We're going to be able to catch them here in no time. We led 1 lap to start the stage. That's the only lap we've led in stage number 2 under green. Not counting the caution laps in between stages 1 and 2. So we won the race off the pit road and we went in after winning stage 1. Don't forget, we're going to try the pit strategy, assuming we stay green all the way through the stage, by pitting at the halfway point and splitting the stage 30 and 30. So once we hit 30 laps to go, we are going to pit. Kind of like we ran that Pocono race last night. We're running these guys down, but we're just not as fast in the draft as far as top end speed at the end of the straightaway goes, and that's why it's taken us just a little bit longer to catch these guys. Plus, we just lost a lot of ground in general. But I think we're at that point in the run where we have the fastest car now. But what a battle for the lead that started this stage for about the first 10 laps. And they're still going at it. We're just not in the picture, at least not yet. Truex, Logano, side by side through 3 and 4 again. Jones still trying to get around Daniel Suarez, the lap car that's kind of holding as kind of like a pick in between the top 3. But all 3 of them still within a second of each other. And we're only about 2 seconds back of the leaders and about a second and a half back of Eric Jones. Stuck turns 1 and 2 pretty well on the inside, and now a caution will fly. And we learned our lesson from right around this time. Almost the exact same time the caution came out in stage 1, the first caution that is. Suarez is going to get the free pass in 8th. He'll be back on the lead lap here. And so we're going to stay on the same pit strategy we were playing with there. I don't think anybody else is going to pit. Tyler Reddick's pitting, but he might have been the cause of the caution. And then everybody from 34th to 38th, that is 1 lap down, is also pitting. But we don't have to worry about them because they're a lap down. As far as the pit strategy goes to the end of the stage. So even if they make it, they're not going to be able to catch all the way back up to us. But here we go. Field bunched back up again. Green flag back in the air. We're ready for another crazy restart at Michigan. Kind of trapped in on the outside right behind our teammate Logano. Joey not going like I want him to. Going into turns 1 and 2 now. Looking high, but we don't have the speed yet. Probably should have just stayed patient and tucked in line behind him. Truex clears everybody off of turn 2. He's got the lead as the top 5 under a blanket. 3 wide, up the middle. Here comes Blaney. Trying to make the move on Logano and Kurt Busch. Slinging to the outside of Eric Jones now. Logano got loose going into turn 3. He loses a ton of ground. No teammate to help us now as we have a big run on Truex. Looking to go to the outside. Truex blocks us off. Jones still in the bottom. Can't get down there. Side drafting off one another through turns 1 and 2. Hanging on as much as we can, but here is Truex out in front. Now we get the run off the top side. Down to the bottom to block Jones and sweep to the inside of Truex. Trying to side draft him going into 3. Ryan Blaney with a big dive going into 3 and 4. Clearing Truex easily off of 4. Jones going for second now behind us. And Blaney leads for the second time in stage 2 with 40 laps to go. What a second stage of racing we have had so far at MIS tonight. Prime time Saturday night slot here on the channel for NASCAR Heat 4. Hopefully everybody watching is enjoying the race, because it has definitely been an interesting one, that is for sure. We had an epic battle to the end of stage 1 as well, an 11-lap sprint with Joey Logano and Eric Jones, and now we get another caution. Here we go again. 4th caution for incident in the race already. We have 119 to go, so that means we got about 39 laps left in stage 2. And we got some splitting strategies here. Kurt Busch and Joey Logano are going to try to make it on fuel to the end of the stage. And it looks like Truex and Eric Jones, Parker Kligerman, Daniel Suarez, and Joey Gase are all going to stay out. Keselowski's going to stay out too. He gets the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap. And I think I'm going to pit to stay on the same strategy as Kurt Busch and Logano. Yeah. I think it's a smart way to do it. If we can't make it, it's just going to be the 3 of us pulling away from everybody else. So we win the race off of pit road. We'll be restarting in 6th. 6th, 7th, and 8th, all on fresh tires. Top 5, all on old tires. Green flag back in the air again at Michigan. We only made it a couple laps there on that short green flag run, but we're going to see another crazy restart with 36 to go in the stage. Logano right on our back bumper here. Will he follow us to the outside? No, he tries to go to the bottom. all the way near the wall. Logano up the middle between Kligerman and Suarez. What a move. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack. We got to catch him before he gets the clean air out in front. To the inside of Logano. 3 wide for the lead. Logano up the middle. Blaney on the bottom. Truex on the top. Blaney comes out on top off of turn number 4. And Ryan Blaney will lead the opening lap of the restart, pulling away from the field outside of his teammate Logano, straight behind. And the two of us are just going to duke it out here for about 10 laps or so until the tires start to fall off on both of our cars. And then we'll likely prevail from then. Oh, Logano bounces off the wall off of turn 2. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. Don't forget, Kurt Busch on fresh tires as well. Oh my goodness, Logano, what a dive bomb going into 3 and 4. Gets it to stick, and Joey Logano takes the lead once again at Michigan. We're going to try to stay in his draft and get him back. That is unbelievable how he got that car to stick the way he did. Yeah. Well, we got the car to stick through 1 and 2, but not as well as he did in 3 and 4. Logano pulls us now. Kurt Busch still kind of caught back in between Eric Jones, Suarez, and Truex. Top 2 pull away for the moment. So we could run 45 laps on a full tank of fuel, but if you guys saw in stage 1, we had to pit in extra time because we were burning way too much fuel. We're 8 laps to the good right now. A little less than 8 laps to the good. But we were 2 laps to the good. And literally were a lap short at the time that we had pit. We still had about 25 laps to go in the stage at that point. So we should make it to the end. But if we do, it's going to be by the slimmest of margins. Logano just checking out here. Not as much of a race for the lead as we have seen here on these restarts throughout the course of the day. But Joey running the top side of the track. We're catching him in the corners. But then he's just got the straightaway speeds by running the top side of the track. And I could move to the top side too, but for some reason at Michigan, my car just likes to stick on the bottom a lot better. Gets a little too tight on the top side at times. Plus, when I hit my apex like this, I can run it wide open. At least in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, it's a little harder, but Kurt Busch finally up to 3rd, but he's about 5.5 seconds back of 2nd place. So it might have taken him way too much time, but Logano was making daring moves that put him in the position he was in to quickly take the lead, and that included going right up the middle looking for the lead. That didn't work out, but once he got to the bottom of me the next lap in 3 and 4, he was able to clear us. And that 22 car is quick on these short runs because he has pulled away 1.5 seconds and he's still pulling away. I mean, once he passed us and he had the clean air, we were already up to speed. It was just game over from there. Again, after about 10 to 15 laps, we should be able to run him back down again. But obviously, we'll have to see if we stay green to the end of the stage or not. We've had 2 cautions in each of the first 2 stages so far. We only had 1 caution for incident at Pocono last night, and it came about halfway through the race on lap number 79 of 160. Today, we've had 4 in the first half of the race. Tale of 2 races. But Pocono was pretty good for the most part, despite the lackluster final 20 laps or so of the race. And so far here at Michigan, it has been a thriller. And hopefully for you guys watching here tonight, staying up a little later than normal for these live stream races, hopefully you guys enjoy too. Again, for those of you watching, I was originally going to have the Sonoma full race live stream tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That time is going to change to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I could get that race in for you as promised. But the 4 o'clock slot time, things changed on a whim. Of course, with Easter Sunday coming along, I was thinking we weren't going to do much because of the quarantine, but we're still going to try to host some sort of family-oriented situation / party, whatever we're going to be doing. So my afternoon's going to be booked, but I will get that race out to you later tomorrow morning for the live stream. So again, 10:30 a.m. sharp. That's Eastern Standard Time, so 7:30 Pacific, 9:30 Central. Then we'll be back to a 5-race schedule for next week, because I actually have off of work Wednesday through Sunday, so we can go full race live streams, 1 each day, stretching Wednesday to Sunday. So we'll have 5 again next week instead of 4 like we had this week. Trying to bring you as much content as I can without overwhelming myself, as well as you guys are in these hard times. But again, we're doing pretty good for the most part right now. We've got 26 laps to go in the stage yet. We're starting to close in on Logano slightly here, and lap traffic will be coming up very, very soon. So it'll be interesting to see what lap the guys that have not pitted yet will pit, because they've had 2 cautions to kind of help save fuel. They still should be short. If I had to guess, they're probably anywhere between 6 to 9 laps short on fuel. So they probably still need 2 more cautions. And honestly, if we got 1 more caution, they're probably just going to pit, which would therefore mean we're probably going to end up having to pit again to stay on the same strategy as them. Only 2 drivers currently out of the race. Logano has just caught Joey Gase, who's about to go a lap down. And Parker Kligerman's up there about to go a lap down as well. And Logano caught up in heavy lap traffic to the lead. Goes the 12 of Blaney once again with 24 to go in stage 2. Logano had to deal with Kligerman and Matt Tifft at the same time. He couldn't get around them both as we side through the tri-oval and away, as we typically do on a longer run. Man, William Byron's in 36. He's having a rough day. Probably on older tires right now, too. The only reason Joey Gase and Kligerman had stage points in stage 1 and were still on the lead lap up to this point in the race is because we've gotten frequent yellows, for one, that have helped them stay on the lead lap. But why everybody else got trapped a lap down but they were still on the lead lap is because we were in the middle of green flag pit stops when the second caution of stage 1 came out. And there were only a few drivers that had stayed out to that point and did not pit. And luckily, we actually did pit, but we were still on the lead lap, luckily, at the time of the caution. But Park, as well as Eric Jones and Joey Logano, also were still in the lead lap after pitting. But everybody else was held a lap down. Truex was able to get the free pass off of it, and Parker Kligerman and Joey Gase were one of the last 2 guys to not pit yet. They still had to come down on the pit road, so they had the timely caution in their favor. So that's why they're still in the top 10 for right now. If we have a long green flag stretch at any point over the course of this race, including right now, then they're probably going to easily end up dropping back outside the top 20, running towards the rear of the field like they were before all these cautions and all the hoopla, so to say, started happening. Finally starting to pull away here. Really the only thing else we have to look at is, will we make it on fuel, because we have been burning quite a bit. Tires have not been an issue as far as the fall off and the heavy tire wear. Michigan, since the repave, has not really been known for that. Before the repave, that was a different story, but they repaved this place can't remember exactly what year it was. I want to say like 2012, 2013, something like that. But I know I saw a race like the second year was repaid. I want to say it was 2012 is when it was last repaid. But anyway, since the repave, tire fall off hasn't really been heavy at all here at Michigan, especially with this rules package as well. Running a little bit lower speeds rather than sailing off into turn 1 at 220 miles an hour like we did with the 750 horsepower engines. Now 550 on the tracks that are bigger than 1 mile in length outside of road courses, super speedways. Actually, super speedways are still 550 horsepower as well, but they have a lower downforce, taller rear spoiler, and tapered spacers. Kind of slow the cars down just enough, but they're still, I mean, they average like 205 to 210 on the super speedways now, which is faster than when they had the restrictor plates on them. So imagine if they didn't have the tapered spacers or the higher rear spoilers to kind of drag the car back a little bit. So that'd be insane. Closing rates are already insane as it is there, but they had a test session where the guys were going like 215, 220, and there was only a couple guys on the track at once drafting. I think they only had like a 3-car test session or something like that. So just imagine a pack of cars. That would have been way too dangerous. It's dangerous enough as it is, but that would just be insane. Alright, so we're getting closer to the end of the stage. We're still looking pretty good on fuel. About 7 laps to the good. We were 8 laps to the good when we started the stage, so we've only really burned 1 extra lap of fuel, so we are looking very good to make it to the end. Now it's just a matter of hoping we stay green, and if we do, almost got into Hamlin off turn 2 there, but if we do stay green to the end of the stage, the only 3 drivers that were on the lead lap that had pit under the caution were me, Joey Logano, and Kurt Busch. So all of those guys are going to stay on the lead lap, no matter what, if we stay green. Eric Jones, Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez, obviously Joe Gase and Parker Kligerman are already a lap down. And I'm trying to think who got the free pass at the end of the stage. Can't remember who got the free pass at the end of the stage there. But whoever did, they're also going to go 1 lap down as well once they hit pit road. They're not going to be able to stay on the lead lap. So we could possibly only have 3 cars on the lead lap at the end of the stage. So they're hoping for a caution so they can hit pit road, which isn't impossible. How many times have we seen them come towards the end of stages or end of races as of late? I mean, we had one somewhat earlier already in the race when we had to restart with 11 laps to go, so who's to say that won't happen again? See, a lot of these guys that we have passed are already a lap down, like an Alex Bowman. He's going 2 laps down now in 11th, so that's going to be very difficult for him to come back. Joey Gase in 10th. He's 2 laps down now as well. Parker Kligerman about to go 2 laps down in 9th up here. Kligerman still trying to hold on possibly to get at least 1 stage point, if he can. 36 seconds ahead of Truex, 35 seconds ahead of Eric Jones in fourth. Remember, those guys, again, they're on older tires, so we're catching them a lot more rapidly than what we're pulling away from Kurt Busch and Joey Logano. And they still haven't pit. They're trying to stay out as long as possible and hope for a caution, but I think that once they fall a lap down, they should probably hit pit road, because at that point, all is lost as far as the strategy goes. We have 12 to go in the stage. And again, they can make it till anywhere between 6 to 9 laps to go in the stage. And Tyler Reddick had a really good finish in the race last night at Pocono. He's currently running 8th here at Michigan. Possibility he could finish maybe even top 5 2 races in a row. So we've got cars hitting pit road this time. Truex is coming down. He is giving up his lap now. Suarez is going a lap down, stuck behind William Byron. Eric Jones is still out on the track, at least for right now, but he'll probably be coming in this time, I would have to imagine, after Truex just pit. Again, Jones just trying to hang on. We're going to go to the outside in case he comes onto pit road so we don't get stuck behind him. I believe he's coming down this time. Yep. Jones dives off of turn 4. He's coming onto pit road now. 10 to go at the line. Here's Truex. He's going to fall 2 laps down now. I'd imagine that Eric Jones probably will also. But they're going to have fresher tires than us. So what could happen is they can end up getting one of their laps back and then take the wave around at the end of the stage. That would probably be their best chances of getting back into this one. Or, of course, trying to get the free pass position 1 lap down, but I don't think they're going to stay 1 lap down. I think they're going to be 2 laps down. So they're already almost a lap down by the time they pit. Yep, Jones was coming off of pit road. He just went a 2nd lap down. Truex has passed Suarez, and now he's going to pass Eric Jones, it looks like, too. He hasn't gotten him yet. Kind of keeping an eye on that leaderboard. Jones still trying to get up to speed, though, too. I'm surprised Jones came out that far ahead of Truex. Truex even pitted a lap earlier, too. There he goes. Okay, yeah, now he got around him. So Truex has gotten around Eric Jones. Currently in the free pass position. You would only get 1 lap back from there. But, again, they've got fresher tires. They have about 25 lap pressure tires. 50 miles going to make a difference here. So they can both run me down before the end of the stage. Again, they can take the wave around and not pit to start the next stage to get their laps back. Now, they still might do that anyway to get 1 lap back, but they could get back on the lead lap that way. And then hope for a quick caution to start stage 3, and they're bunched right back up with us again. They could hit pit road and right back into it. There's Chase Elliott just coming off of pit road now. He's trying to get back up to speed. He's probably going to be faster than us. He's back in 32nd currently. He is not having a good run. He might have had to come down pit road an extra time because he is way back in the field. Six to go. Pretty good chance we can get Penske to finish 1-2 in this stage like we did in stage 1. Same order, Blaney, Logano. Can't count Truex and Eric Jones out. Even Daniel Suarez, for that matter, he's shown some speed in this race. He's actually shown in 5th right now ahead of Eric Jones. Suarez may be trying to surprise everybody and get his first win of the season and lock himself into the playoffs. 5 laps to go in the stage. Kurt Busch is about 35.5 seconds off the lead. You can see that black number 1 Monster Energy car way out ahead off in the distance. We got about 3 lap cars in between us right now, as he tries to battle to get around the lap car he's currently trying to pass. And then he's got open air in front of him once he gets around that next lap car. Actually, kind of looks like the lap car might get around him, because that lap car could be on fresher tires. So if we catch Kurt Busch and put him a lap down before the end of the stage, then Truex and Suarez will both have to refute to taking the wave around if they choose to do so, because they cannot get the free pass. So we are definitely going to charge hard to catch Kurt Busch here. Kurt Busch would be in the free pass position. We're definitely not catching Logano. We still got about another 12 seconds before we catch him. Definitely a lot faster than the one of Kurt Busch. Yeah, I think we're going to catch him if we stay green here. We've got 3 laps to go in the stage. And here he is going into turn 1. Busch. Oh, I thought he was going to go to the bottom. He's going to try to pass him around the top. Late dive to the middle. Blaney clearing Kurt Busch off of turn 2. And just like that, 2 drivers on the lead lap. And a 30-second lead on the racetrack for Ryan Blaney, with 2 laps to go. What an awkward race that this turned out to be very quickly. But still with 80 laps to go, plenty of time for somebody to get back on the lead lap. Not a ton of time, but enough time. Kurt Busch will definitely get back on the lead lap with the free pass, so there shouldn't be anything to worry about. That's going to get tight off of turn 2. A little loose there. I saw Priest kind of coming up, and I knew we were going to get trapped in the middle between him and Boyer. Kept our foot in it, though, and kept the car straight. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go in stage 2. A little more dominant of a finish than what we had in stage 1. But very interesting, to say the least. Well, we're going to have 2 Penske drivers on the front row again to start stage number 2. Oh, contact with the back of the 38. He checked up behind Brendan Gaughan there. Luckily, it didn't give us really too much damage. I don't know what happened there. And off of turn number 4 now. Ryan Blaney wins stage 2 at Michigan, sweeping the stages here in the Firekeepers Casino 400. 80 laps to go to the end of the race. And who will win the first race at Michigan this season? Of course, we do go back here again in about 8 races or so. It's definitely been a fun one so far, though. For my sake, at least. So, yeah, nobody's taking the wave around here. They're going to take the Ford Fresh Goodyears. That cost them the first time. I think they learned their lesson the hard way, so. Yep, we're going to pit. Filling the tank up full. Ford Fresh Goodyears, and here we go. Going to try to split the stage in half if we stay green all the way through. How will the fuel mileage be? Is it possible to make it on one stop to the finish, or will we burn too much fuel to have to pit twice? That will be the answer. Some guys did take the wave around there. You see Kligerman and Gase to get back into the top 10. But a lot of guys definitely pitted under the stage break. So here we go. Green flag back in the air again. Stage 3 underway at Michigan. 77 laps to go to decide the winner of the race. Got a good jump on the restart here. We're going to have a lot of guys behind us that are going to try to get a lap back, such as a Truex, a Suarez. So they're going to be battling hard to get to one lap down, hope for a quick caution, get the free pass position. So they're going to be in the mix, as well as me and Logano battling it out for the lead. So we go into turns 3 and 4, trying to hold on to it, of course. We're going to have the clean air all the way through the initial green flag lap of the stage. Bowman in the mix now as well. Tyler Reddick inside the top 5. Craziness going on the restart here at Michigan behind us. They were 3 wide for a little bit. And now here comes Bowman to the inside. Suarez up the middle. Suarez makes the move. Contact with the 12 and 41. That got tight off of turn 2. We're still out of shape, and here comes Logano for the lead. 3 wide again between the 1941 and 12. But we're able to slide back in front of Joey Logano. To the lead again, down to the bottom of the track, 205 miles an hour into turn 1, driving it in deep on the 88 and 12. There's Logano on the top. Can't slide up in front of him in time, and here comes Joey going for the lead again. Still side by side, trying to side draft and pull him back into 3. Holding clear, can't clear the 41. Joey with the crossover move. Contact now between the 11 and 12. Hamlin kind of closed into the picture. 2:06 going into turn 1. Would have been faster if we didn't make contact with Hamlin off of turn 4 as well. But we still cannot clear the 41 of Suarez. The 22 of Logano still can't clear the 88 of Bowman. Deep dive through turns 3 and 4. Logano still holds on to the lead. We're in second. We were having troubles trying to clear the 41 of Suarez. Couldn't pull up in line there because Bowman was to the outside of us there for a second, so almost got to kind of get them both. Big slide job now, trying to get around both of them. Oh, contact! Bowman couldn't check up in time. He makes contact with the 41 now behind us. We slid up in front of him, but he did not get out of the gas. He was put in a tough situation there, and he didn't want to give up. He had such a big run coming. That got us very loose off the corner. I'm surprised the 88 didn't end up in the wall. But he did kind of end up in the side of the 41, but everybody stays clear remarkably. And Truex is still considered 1 lap down in front of Logano. Still can't clear the 88. This cost me a ton of time racing with these 2-lap cars. Joey Logano still out in front. As far as the race lead goes. Truex just hoping for a caution so he can get that free pass. So is Kurt Busch, so he can get back into the mix a little quicker here and maybe get a good restart himself. Of course, remember the fuel mileage game, though. If we don't get a caution, who can make it on 1 stop? Who can make it on 2? These guys that are 1 to 2 laps down right now can make it on 1 stop. That would be a huge advantage for them to maybe still have a shot to win the race if me and Logano cannot make it. Us being 1 lap ahead of them, it's very well possible that that could be the case. Suarez still there. 70 to go here at Michigan. Now trying to clear the 41 again through 1 and 2. This time we're going to do it. 88 and 41 behind us. Are side by side, side drafting one another as we finally clear both of them. And now just over a second behind Logano for the lead. Kurt Busch 6 seconds back in third. That rear bumper damage we've got on the car after Bowman got into the back of us is really making this car want to swing out the rear tires coming off the exit of these corners. Giving the car a lot more drag. Making it very, very loose. Not so much on the entrance, but more so on the exit. Try not to turn the wheel as much because it just kind of wants to drift out on us little by little. Logano's been consistent with the top side of the track the last couple laps as we close the gap on him. But now he is going to move back down to the bottom. Oh boy! That's the second time we've done that today. We didn't lose as much ground. We did that in turns 1 and 2 earlier. That's going to lose a ton of time. And both times, I don't know how I didn't spin out. That's just crazy. Never spun out either time that happened. Here comes Bowman. Now we're back battling with these 4 guys. Clear Eric Jones with ease off of turn 4 this time, so we're only about a second and a half back of Joey still. We didn't lose much time, about a half second or so, but that bobble definitely cost us some time. Got those left side tires down onto the flat, onto the apron in the middle of the corners. So much of a banking difference there, just lost grip. Honestly, with as loose as the car is as well, it was probably a little harder to save this time, even though it didn't look as drastic. So I'm having to worry about a little bit loose of a car as it is with the rear bumper damage. And it's not that noticeable. You can't see much rear bumper damage. Definitely tell a car was there. It's a little darker. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. But you can see up there on the left, upper left-hand corner of the screen that the rear bumper is in yellow, which indicates it's got some sort of damage. Obviously, red would be a lot heavier damage, and we would probably have to bring it onto pit road if that was the case, but he didn't hit us too hard. But it is making a little bit of a difference with the handling. Well, we're running back down again, just over a half second off the race lead. Exactly 0.6 seconds back, 64 to go. Logano again to the top side of the track, more so in the middle so he can get by Joey Gase. Oh, Gase about bounces it off the walls. We got to zoom by him to the inside as we try to catch the 22 of Logano. 19 of Truex. Lumen in the picture as well. Up the middle between Logano and the 96. We cleared the 22. Blaney back out in front at Michigan once again. At the line, it's an official lead change. 63 laps to go in this race. So we just lead our second lap of the stage. It took us about 17 laps to get back to the lead. But things are definitely looking good for us. Trying to close in on Truex to put him a lap down again here. Next fastest car we've got to get to. He's arguably the fastest car in the field through the first 15 laps of a run. But he hasn't been able to find himself in good positions throughout the course of the race on strategy. And now he's going to go a second lap down. He's in fourth, still in the free pass position, but with being 2 laps down, he can only get the 1 back with a caution. And we have issues. Somebody up near the wall. It is Bubba Wallace going into turn 3. But will we get the caution? I am very surprised that there was no caution there, as we had some of these lap cars that were just now passing that had to check up. 61 to go. We still stay green though, as Bubba Wallace was able to nurse it onto pit road. It looked like an engine issue. It could have been a tire issue the way he was up near the wall. Not sure if he might have hit it or not. But nevertheless, the strategy plays on. If we can get to 40 laps to go in the stage, we can definitely split the stage in half. And as of right now, we should be able to get there. I don't know what it was in stage 1. We just seemed to burn a lot more fuel in stage 1 compared to what we did in stage 2 or even here in this final stage of the race. And I'm not really doing anything different. Running the same line pretty much. Not the same amount of draft as we would have had before. Something is definitely different there. "59 laps to go. A little less than a 1 stage length away from the finish. Just another traditional 400-mile event, as are most of the events here in the Cup Series. Tomorrow it'll be a 350-miler on a road course at Sonoma. First of 3 road course races on the Cup Series season. Arguably a wild card race for some. We could have an upset winner, have a road course ringer get a win to get into the playoffs. Blaney usually runs pretty good on the road courses, and we are obviously running as Blaney, but I usually run pretty well on the road courses myself. So I think we can hold our own. We'll obviously have to see how we do in qualifying. That's going to be a huge part of it, because again, track position is huge, and it doesn't seem like the tire fall off. It seems like the tire fall off is pretty equal throughout the course of the field, both on my tires and everybody else's when we go to road courses. So it gets usually pretty racy the entirety through a run. So clean air definitely going to be a huge factor. So hopefully we can qualify close to the pole. We have not qualified on the pole all season, so we'll definitely attempt there. And now we've got a caution. 5th time today we have the yellow flag out in the air. Truex will get the free pass. He'll get one of his laps back. We have 57 laps to go at the time of the caution. So we still, even with pitting now, have to pit one more time before the end of the race. But we're going to pit to stay on the same strategy as Kurt Busch and Joey Logano here. So we'll have 3 guys on the lead lap restarting at the rear of the field. So by the time we go green, we should still be about 10 laps short. So again, I think I'm going to just try to split this stage in half from the time we go green. We'll see. A couple guys took the wave around as well towards the rear of the field, trying something a little different. Here we go. Green flag in the air at Michigan. 54 laps to go. About 3/4 of the way through the race. Another great restart, pulling in front of Logano before we get into turn 1. Kurt Busch taking it there. Logano now all the way on the top 3 wide. He gets split by both rows of cars behind him. And here comes Kurt Busch for the lead on the restart. Suarez trying to get one of his laps back up towards the front of the field. Truex, who was 1 lap down, had to restart at the rear of the field because he got the free pass. So he'll need another caution to get back on the lead lap. But Kurt Busch getting a run off of turn 4. Will he have a shot at the lead? Not yet, at least. Looking to the bottom again as we throw the block. Here comes Suarez on the top. as we try to at least hold on to the clean air as best as we can. Tight angle going into turn 3. A little loose on the bottom there, and here comes Logano up the middle. Joey Logano in between me and Suarez looking for the lead, and now Kurt Busch gonna sneak under us. Into turns 3 and 4. Couldn't get the car to stick to the bottom at all there. Logano and Kurt Busch out in front of the field. Contact now with the 31, 3 wide on the top. More contact with the 20 of Jones. 52 to go. Oh boy. Push coming from Keselowski. Did not see that coming. Down into turn 1. Had a huge run. Nothing to do with it though on Eric Jones. And Logano has passed Suarez. Now has the clean air again, and another push coming from our teammate Keselowski trying to help us out. Slide job on Jones, couldn't get around him that time. Try to close up on the 1 and 22. Meanwhile, trying to, oh man, got into the side of Jones there again. Couldn't quite clear him that time. 50 to go. Now Kurt Busch goes all the way to the top. 3 wide between Suarez, Jones, and Blaney. Oh my goodness, that got tight. We almost made contact again, but that time it would have been all 3 of us. Ooh, little brush going into turn 1. Gonna slow our corner entry speed down just a hair. And that's going to make for another corner that we can't quite stay alongside of the car we're trying to pass. Kurt Busch kind of fading back though. Eric Jones looking to the bottom of him. Not for position, but Jones and Suarez battling for the free pass position right now. And we're going to clear Kurt Busch off of turn 4. That will move us up to second. Trying to break the draft on Kurt Busch. Look at him just trying to follow us, stalking us now into turn 1. In fact, Eric Jones kind of closing in on Joey Logano himself right here. Goes right to the back bumper of Eric Jones. Now looking to his inside. 47 to go. Pit window's about open. Deep dive now on Jones to get around him. Next up, race leader Joey Logano. Eyes on the prize for Ryan Blaney. Logano goes down to block. Can't get under him yet. A little contact between the 2 leaders. Logano gets loose off the exit of the corner. We both kind of slow up as they try to hold Eric Jones back behind us. Logano leads the lap at the line, 46 to go. We're right there on the 22, just can't quite make the move yet. Now off of turn 2 to the inside, side by side for the lead again. Side draft with 46 to go, down to the bottom. Slide job. Left side's on the apron, loose. clearing the 22 of Logano. Still looking down on the bottom of the track for the lead. Blaney back out in front, 45 laps to go at Michigan. And the pit window is now open as we try to block the 22 into turn 1. Here comes Joey, still there. And let the pit strategy continue. With the pit window open, we are going to pit this time by, now that we have taken the lead. Give us the tire advantage here to the finish. Just got to make sure we don't speed onto pit road. We are good. 53 miles an hour. Speed limit was 54. We should be 1 lap to the good from here. And we'll have roughly 10 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field. I don't know what that was, but... Well, I guess Michael McDowell's kind of in our way. Man, that's going to slow our stop up big time. We had an issue with this earlier in the year. I want to say, was it the Phoenix race? We had an issue with another guy in our pit box. It's slowing our crew so much. Wow, 15.6. That took an extra second and a half or so. As well as getting into the box, probably another couple seconds too. That's a weird glitch in this game. I've only ever had that happen twice, but I remember it happening not that long ago. Oh boy, here comes Martin Truex Jr. And we're getting out of his way. We're trying to get up to speed. I don't know why he was to the bottom of us. He must have been trying to just get as much of a draft as he could. I thought he was checking up there for a second. So we had that big of a run on him now. Side by side. This is for position. This is for third. Maybe that was why he was trying to get the draft off of us to get around us, but we're back up to speed now. But we have a 10 lap fresher tire advantage than the 19 of Truex. We're going to get on by. It's a fuel mileage race here at Michigan as usual, but strategy's going to work out, I think. If we stay green to the finish, we just got to make it on fuel and we should be good. We're a lap to the good as of right now. And we have been managing our fuel a lot better here in this stage as well as stage number 2 compared to how we did in stage 1. So we got 42 laps to go here. Worst case scenario, a caution comes out, but we're in the free pass position, so we would get our lap back now that we passed Truex. We'd have to restart at the rear of the field, but we'll just have to see. Remember, everybody's about 9 laps short on fuel, so they can make it till, at the latest, 9 laps left before they have to hit pit road. Just went to the outside, took it 3 wide to get around Reddick and Paul Menard. Reddick was still there for a while, but we were finally able to clear him. Look at how quickly we're just catching these guys. Caution. Well, for Truex's sake, that hurt him that we tried that strategy, because now he will not get the free pass and we will. So we'll restart at the rear of the field. So much for trying to short pit, but at least we're still on the lead lap. I don't know what this is going to mean for the finish exactly, but we'll see. We'll top off on fuel here. We'll put the 4 fresh tires back on the car. So here we go. To the restart from the rear of the field in third place. Truex going to need another caution here unless he can get a lap back under green and get a quick yellow that way. But the green flag is back in the air at Michigan. 36 laps to go to the end of the race to decide the winner. Everybody's about 9 laps to the good on fuel. Shouldn't be an issue now. Everybody's going to go full bore all the way to the finish. Trying to get around all these back marker cars at the rear of the field, taking them 3 wide through 1 and 2. Going to do the same on the bottom through 3 and 4. The middle of the pack is just as bad as the front of the pack when it comes to the crazy restarts at Michigan. Look at us all the way down to the apron now. This is tight. Down towards the bottom of the track, we're definitely 3 wide. I can't tell if we're 4 wide or not from the in-car cam exactly, but we could be definitely 3 wide going into turn 1, all the way to the apron. Making it clean though, no contact needed to be made that whole entire move. But here comes DiBenedetto, very close to our rear bumper, not going to quite give us a push yet. Now we work to the inside of the 37 of Buescher. Side draft. Now trying to get away from him here. Down through the tri-oval. We'll clear him. Again, we're still in third. We're about 3 seconds back of Joey Logano and Kurt Busch, who are not actually the first 2 cars on the track. On the leaderboard, yes, but there are 2 cars out in front of them that I saw out there, and I bet one of them was Truex. And the other was Daniel Suarez, it looked like. But Suarez is 2 laps down. Truex is only 1 lap down. So caution comes out. Suarez gets the lead lap with the free pass. And Truex will hold on to his lead lap positioning to get the restart in 4th. Trying to fight from the rear of the field. Couldn't quite clear the 3 of all. All the way to the bottom through the tri-oval. Taking a tighter angle into turn 1 to get by Chase Elliott. It's going to work. So just try to drive through the field. Caution again. So much for driving through the field. Oh boy. Here we go again at Michigan. With 32 laps to go, we get another caution. It looks like somebody was blowing up towards the front of the field. Couldn't quite tell who it is. Oh, is that Logano? That might be Logano. I think it might have been. He was the race leader. Yeah, he's showing in 3rd now. Joey Logano, the race leader, is blowing up. A huge hit late in the race for the 22 team. He's probably going to be knocked out of the race now. Wow. Logano done from race lead to the rear of the field that quickly. Green flag back in the air at Michigan. Here we go on the restart. 29 laps to go. Neck and neck. Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney. Busch trying to pinch us near the wall, trying to side draft us now, going into turns 1 and 2. We're shuffled out of line on the very top. There's Bowman, arguably the fastest guy in the short runs. Martin Truex Jr. is up there as we kind of kiss the wall off of turn 2. Not where I want to be on the top side of the track, I can tell you guys that much. Truex, Busch, side by side for the lead. Truex clears him off of turn 4 as we're still side by side with the 32 of LaJoie. Now down to the bottom. Little tag there. The back of Bowman, and now Hamlin giving us a big push. Denny Hamlin gives us a huge shove off of turn 2. We'll take it to the inside of the 88 going into 3 and 4. Jones now looking to the inside of Kurt Busch off the exit of 4. Oh, we got a really big run coming here through the tri-oval. 3 wide, down to the bottom for second. Jones a lap down. Kurt Busch on the outside. He's in second. Huge dive bomb going into 1 and 2, trying to clear the 20 and the 1 at the same time. Here comes the 20 to give us a push off of turn 2. Big run coming down the backstretch now. Truex just trying to hold on to the lead. Big run out of our car through 3 and 4 to the outside of Truex. He holds on for now. Clean air so vital on the early going of these runs. 26 to go, and we've got a battle for the win. 3 cars. Blaney, Truex. Blaney down to the apron, trying to slide up in front of the 19. It didn't work out that time, and here comes Kurt Busch to give us help. No, he tucks to the inside instead and is going for second himself. That's going to pin us to the outside through 3 and 4 now. Could give us some straightaway speed, but Kurt Busch might clear us off the exit of the corner, and he does. Kurt Busch up to second. We're going to push him. Big bump draft to the back of the 1. Now going into turn 1, trying to loosen him up and get up to second. Side draft, can't do it, and here comes, no, I thought Jones was going to get there. He backs off and lets the top 3 go at it for the win. Again, looking to the inside of Kurt Busch. Everybody on pressure tires right now, all clear. Blaney up to second again. But now will Kurt Busch get to our back bumper, try to give us a push to get around the 19 of Truex. Nope, we got to run ourselves instead. To the inside. Side by side into turn 1 for the lead. Pinned down to the apron. Truex giving us no room. Pinches us down there. And here comes Kurt Busch to give us a shot again. Now he gets under us. We're 3 wide, potentially, for the lead. Busch backs off, and we're still side by side into 3 and 4. Full throttle, trying to get the car to stick. Up the track we go. Keeping it off the wall barely. Here comes Truex clearing us with the crossover, and Kurt Busch to the inside to follow. Here comes Eric Jones behind us, 23 to go. Now to the outside of the 1. Going into turns 1 and 2. Can't get the car to stick that time. Had to check up out of the gas before we ended up in the wall. Very loose off of turn 2. And we're going to lose a little bit of ground. The 1 and the 19 going for the race win. Truex blocks Kurt Busch off that time. .22 to go. Jones still in the free pass spot. If a caution comes out, he's back on the lead lap. He's 1 lap down currently. Maybe he'll help his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate. Truex out. We're going to get around Jones that time. Busch looking for the lead down on the bottom of the track. Trying to get to the 19 of Truex. He ducks in line behind him, but now here we come for the lead. Down all the way to the bottom. Huge run on the 19. Trying to side draft. Through the tri-oval. Slowing each other up. Here comes Kurt Busch now. Busch is coming. To the inside into 1 and 2. Tight angle. Truex not giving us a lot of room to pass him right now. Still can't clear him. Kurt Busch gets such runs off the top side of the track. Here he comes again. We're side by side for the lead. Into 3 and 4. Busch, I thought he was going to go up the middle. We go all the way to the apron. Loose up in turn 4. Saving it. Holding it. Here they all come. Contact of the 19. Oh my gosh. Big dive bomb through 1 and 2. Not trying to give up yet. 3 wide pass to get around the 20 and the 1 again. Blaney up to second with a head of steam. Holding the corner through 1 and 2. Big run to the inside of Truex going into 3. Slide job off of 4. Holding it much like Logano did to us earlier. And for the fallen Penske teammate in the race, Blaney to the lead, 19 to go at Michigan. What a battle. Everybody was trying to hold on for the win. And although we will likely pull away now, will we get another caution before the end of the race to bunch the field up? We've had 7 yellows today. For incident, rather. But still. Just imagine if Suarez was in the mix as well. If he didn't have to suffer with having to only get the free pass under the last caution. Ooh. Now, if another caution comes out, somebody's going to have to hit pit road to really have a shot to beat us, because the laps that we have on the tires, we should be faster. We might have to battle them for the first couple laps of a restart, but that would be about it. That battle went on 10 times longer than what I wanted it to, but man, that was intense. Honestly, when me and the 19 of Truex made contact off of turn 4 that time, I thought I was going to lose complete control. I also thought I was going to lose control when I got the left sides on the apron again in 3 and 4. I've gotten so lucky with that today. 3 times I've done that, and all 3 times I was able to just drift sideways out of the corner, not overcorrect it into the wall. Keep the foot in the gas and keep going. Well, I did have to kind of feather the throttle. I wasn't throttled to the floor when I was doing that, but still. Oh my goodness. That was one of the battles for the lead late in a Michigan race for the ages. And we're still not done. It's all just going to depend on if a caution comes out or not to the end of this race. Everybody's plenty good on fuel. Tires haven't been an issue all day. We've got 15 to go. 15 laps at Michigan, though. That's a long time. 2 miles around this racetrack. That means we've got 30 miles left in this race. We are by no means over. Trying to keep the win streak going here in the Cup Series as well. We have currently won the last 5 races, trying to make it 6 in a row with a win here tonight. The last 5 races that we have won have included Talladega, Dover, both thrilling finishes and thrilling races throughout in that one. Kansas was an awesome race, but a lackluster finish. Charlotte, the Coke 600, it was a long event. Had its moments throughout. That was at Charlotte, of course, and then last night at Pocono, which was a pretty good race with kind of a similar situation to Kansas. Despite as thrilling of a race it was kind of a lackluster last 20 laps. And this has probably been the best race of all those throughout the course of the day. but it's probably going to end the same way Kansas and Pocono did, with a somewhat long green flag stretch to the end with us just kind of pulling away, unless we get the caution. Because at Dover it was seeming that way until we had, what, 3 cautions in like the last 19 laps or something ridiculous like that just kept bunching the field back up over and over again. If we get that kind of intensity here at Michigan, I don't know if I'm going to be able to control myself. What a race. Oop, gotta be careful there. Car didn't want to step out on us that time. We got the left sides down on the apron. Kind of got a little lucky. $11 to go. $10 to go. 20 miles left. The main focus is to get to the white flag. You guys know the rest. Once the white flag happens, the next flag ends the race, whether it is the yellow or the checker. If we get a caution any point in time before then, we will at least have one more restart to the finish. To, from that point, try to get to the white flag before another caution might come out. Where would Joey Logano have finished this race if the caution didn't come out? How would things have played out with us having to come from the rear of the field to the front? I think we would have caught him eventually, but would we have had the crazy battle we did with Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr.? If it wasn't for Logano blowing an engine, the sacrifice of our teammate blowing an engine with 32 laps left in the race at Michigan while leading. We battled him all day. He finished second in each of the first 2 stages. Definitely had a tough break to end it. He was the 4th car to DNF in this race. So you can tell on the track map down there, there's 4 cars on pit road that are out of the race due to some sort of issue, despite the 7 cautions here today. Just hoping all these lap cars run clean laps here to the finish and don't have any sort of mechanical failure. $7 to go. Big run on Chase Elliott there in the draft. Quickly getting to the inside now into turn 1. Got about a 14-second lead on Martin Truex Jr. in second, Kurt Busch in third. 19.5 seconds ahead right now. Or sorry, behind right now. And Daniel Suarez 30 seconds back in fourth. Eric Jones still 1 lap down and still in the free pass position in 5th. But he would likely need 2 cautions before the end of the race. One to get the free pass and a second to get another caution so he can restart towards the front of the field with the rest of us. So if a caution comes out, it's looking like it's just going to be between the top 4. Unless one of the top 4, of course, has an issue like Logano did while leading about 25 to 30 laps to go. Four laps to go at the line. We're late enough in the race now where if a caution comes out, we go to overtime and we will run past the scheduled 200 lap, 400 mile limit in this race to try and get one last shot at it, to hopefully end the race under green. Because if the caution came out now, we would not be able to go back green in time before lap 199 to give us a proper 2-lap green-white checker. Still holding on strong. 3 laps to go. We're 4 miles away now from the white flag. Oh, Landon Castle blowing up going into turn 1. Is he gonna be able to nurse it all the way back around? We were just passing him to the inside when that happened. He's got a long ways to go here around this racetrack to make it all the way back to pit road. And now we're pushing the car as hard as we can into turn 3. Trying to get to the white flag. We've got another whole lap to go. 2 laps left at Michigan as we try to race all the way back around. Can't tell where Castle's at on the track right now, blowing up. He was just going into turn 1 when it happened, so he's probably still somewhere in the backstretch if I had to imagine. No, he's on to pit road. I see it now. Castle able to get off the track onto pit road. Woo-hoo. That was a little bit of a scare that I didn't need to have happen. That was like right to the outside of me too. Suarez is going to go lap down now. Off of turn 4, trying to get there. We're almost there. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go at Michigan in the Firekeepers Casino 400. It looks like 3 drivers are going to finish on the lead lap here in this one. And we're going to make it all the way back to the finish at its regulation length. Now through 3 and 4 for the final time. At least 2 Penske cars still finished in the top 10. Could have had 3 though if Logano didn't blow an engine while leading earlier in the race. I'll take it nevertheless. Off of 4 to the start-finish line, Ryan Blaney gets the win at Michigan to end the race. A race that had various battles for the lead with various crazy restarts. Pit strategy at times, though they were spoiled mostly due to the amount of cautions we had. Only 7 cautions. It could have been worse. We definitely had a lot worse before, but. And the cool thing about Michigan, the victory lane is right on the front stretch, so we get to pull it in ourselves here. How about that? There we go. Well, that was a good one. 3 cars finished on the lead lap in this race. A lot of cars were pretty much held a lap down pretty much since stage 1 when we had the incident with the caution coming out right in the middle of green flag pit stops. And at that time it only held 5 drivers on the lead lap. We finished with 3 on the lead lap. So it was basically the same 5 drivers battling throughout. Again, you don't see Logano on the list because he was one of the guys that DNF'd. Out of the 5 that DNF, figuring Landon Castle failed to finish with a couple laps left, and he finished 10 laps down in 36th. So there's a look at the end of the leaderboard. But again, we got the win. Truex in 2nd, Kurt Busch 3rd, Daniel Suarez 4th, Eric Jones 5th. Alex Bowman 6th. Keselowski in 7th. Hamlin 8th. Jimmy Johnson sneaks in with a top 10 in 9th. And Kyle Busch rounds out the top 10 here tonight. 2 hours, 5 minutes total time in this race. That is actually the shortest race that we have had this season in the Cup Series. Shortest before that was at Phoenix. It was 2 hours and 9 minutes. So went from the Coke 600 being over 3 hours to this one barely being over 2. So yeah, this one definitely flew by even though we had 7 cautions. So 12th win of the season. We obviously have a huge points lead for the regular season. That is for sure. Joey Logano had the fastest lap with a 38.381. We led the most laps, 104 of the 200 laps led, just over half the race. Won both stages and the race as well. Newman started at the rear in 39th, finished 15th. And Kevin Harvick had the toughest break today. DNFing only 13 laps into the race. Despite starting 10th, he finished dead last in 40th. That is going to be it here for this one. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate the support that you guys give me just by simply watching the videos and leaving likes, as I hope you would do for this pretty exciting race. So hit the like button whether you enjoyed the race, the commentary, the video in general. Hit the subscribe button for more daily NASCAR content, such as streams of videos like this with a real-life broadcast for these full-length races. And hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss an upload as well. And also, again, reminder, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the next full race live stream. It'll be Sonoma. So I hope to see you guys then. First road course of the year. Again, had to adjust the start time because of Easter Sunday being tomorrow. Didn't really think that one through. I was originally going to have it at 4. But again, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific, and 9:30 Central. I'll see you guys for that one tomorrow. Again, thanks for watching as always, and I'll catch you later.